Welcome back, everybody, to the Dragon's Lair. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk Warhammer. We're talking about the Tyranids in my series of Tyranids. When you watch my Warrior video, I do make a mistake, and I do say, we're still talking about elites. Warriors are troops, and this is the elite choice that I forgot to put into talking about elites. So anyways, we at the Dragon's Lair show up on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as the space dragons space liar, or the _dragons _liar. We only have 10 minutes, so let's get into it. Tyrant Guard. Tyrant Guard are great. I love Tyrant Guard. I use Tyrant Guard all the time. The only thing that I have to say is there are so many things that you can synergize with Tyrant Guard. You got to have them in the right place at the right time. And the most important thing you have to know about a Tyrant Guard is you want to keep it within 3 inches of your Tyrant or Tyrants. Okay, so let's talk about stats. Most of the stats are pretty good. I'm not a fan of the speed. The speed is stupid. You're going to have a hard time keeping up with your Tyrant. Regular Tyrants are, walking 10 with adrenal glands, and Flyer Ants are flying 16. That's difficult to keep them where you want to be. Recently, there was a guy who won a tournament. Don't remember his name, don't remember where it was, but he had 2 Tyrants, with one with the Shard Gullet, one with the Balethorn Cannon, and he put them behind 5 Tyrant Guard, and he basically made a living, moving castle, which is what the Tyranids are supposed to do anyways, is be living, moving thing. So speed, not a fan of. Weapon skill, it's okay. Ballistic skill, they don't really have guns, so I'm not going to cry there. Strength is okay. It's going to be a 6 because I put adrenal glands on it. I'm just telling you what I put on it. Tough 6, it's great. It's good. Wound 4, that's great. They come in a group of 3, so you're going to have decent amount of wounds starting out. I do suggest in bigger point battles, if you can move up to 4 or 5, move up to 4 or 5. If you got the points, move it up to 6. They're amazing, and they will do lots of work for you. Leadership 5, who cares? Because we're going to be standing next to a Tyrant. Save, 2+ save. Really good. So basically the movement is kind of the loser of the group there. I put Scything Talons on mine. You can see mine in the video there. And then you can kind of pick out the magnets. I magnetized mine because magnetize your stuff. You'll thank yourself. It's really easy to forget that with Scything Talons they get an extra attack. So it's like their attack score has now changed to a 4, which is pretty good. I mean, it's going to be Strength 6 AP1, which AP1's not great, but we no longer have the Armor of Contempt to worry about. 1 damage. It is what it is. I haven't been able to do it, but I really, really, really want to put Crushing Claws on mine. That would make them Strength 9, AP3, 2 damage. The problem is it's so expensive. It's just so expensive. If you got the points, do it, but it's just so expensive. Moving on to other gear. Adrenal Glands is the only thing I worry about here, the only thing I take here. +1 to movement, +1 to strength. Movement of 7 helps out a little bit. +1 to strength obviously is helping you get those wounds on there. War gear options, swap out weapons, adrenal glands, toxin sacks. Maybe toxin sacks if you had the points, just to hope that you can proc the 6s. So that might be an option for you to think about. Special abilities. Let's get into special abilities. Guardian Organism. So they did change Guardian Organism. It functions much more now like Lookout Sir. So while a friendly Hive Fleet Tyrant model is within 3 inches of this unit, enemy models cannot target the Hive Fleet model with range attacks. So they changed it to Lookout Sir, and the Guardian Organism now basically reads, it allows them to Lookout Sir for a Tyrant. Because you got to remember, Lookout Sir has a cap at 9 wounds, and Tyrants have 12. So basically they changed it to Lookout Sir, and it includes Tyrants, which is fine by me. So just the biggest thing you want to remember there, because it's now Lookout Sir, is you want to make sure that your Tyrant Guard is closer to your opponent than the Tyrant is. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 inch or 3 inches or whatever, but make sure that the guard is closer. Okay, and I saw in tournaments and people talking about it. Currently, right now, it still doesn't matter. Your tyrant can be in a building, and your enemy doesn't have to be able to see them. Your enemy is the guard is closer. So like the guard is here inside of a building, and the tyrants are here. Because they're closer, even though they can't be seen by the enemy, it doesn't say anything about being seen. I've seen this in tournaments recently, people talking about it. And that guy who had the Balethorn Cannon and the Shard Gullet, he did this. Tyrant Guard, Tyrants, and because the Guard were closer, even though they couldn't be seen or targeted, that means that they can guard the Tyrants. That's just the way it is right now. Anyways, this is also really easy to forget about. Tyrant Goading, I forget about this. While this unit is within 3 inches of a friendly Hive Fleet Hive Tyrant, add 1 to the attack characteristic of this model. That is going to make that Scything Talent attack, instead of a 4, a 5. You'd get 5 attacks. 3 of them would have 15. 15 is not a bad number of attacks. Abrasive Brood might help you out. If your army is Battleforged, then for each Hive Fleet Hive Tyrant model included in the detachment, you can include a Hive Fleet Hive Tyrant Guard unit in the detachment without taking up a battlefield roll slot. I don't know much about Arcs of Omen just yet, but maybe that will help you out in Arcs of Omen. Going down to keywords, the only thing that's really important here is core. And the reason why core is important is for 2 reasons. I'll get to one right now. Is you can use the Hive Tyrant's Will of the Hive Mind on them. So that would make them reroll 1s. So then you're at 15 attacks, Strength 6, AP 1, reroll 1s. That's not bad. You're gonna recover some stuff there. Now let's start talking about the strategies. So strategies that you can use with them, stratagems that you can use with them, is I highly suggest, and I cry about this on every video that I make, Rapid Regeneration. Because read Rapid Regeneration, it just says pick a model. It doesn't say a monster, it doesn't say a character, it doesn't say a unit, it just says a model. Okay, so with all the things that you can do to make a Tyrant Guard tough, then your opponent's pouring shots into them and all kinds of stuff, and let's say they put 3 wounds on one, and then your command phase, you use this strategy, and you roll the d3, and you get the 3, and you put those 3 wounds back on. A, you're going to demoralize your opponent, so you're getting in their head. Useful. B, that Tyrant Guard is not going to die so easily. It's big. It's big. You can make your Tyrant Guard super tough, and let's get into that. Instinctive Rage is another stratagem that you can use. I highly suggest it. So basically, if a Tyrant dies, you in that phase, you use Instinctive Rage. For the rest of the battle, they get a +4 on all charge rolls. Super cool. They get a +1 to wound and a +1 to hit. They just get pissed. They get super pissed, and that's cool. If they had those Crushing Claws, man, it'd make them so stupid cool. Gotta speed this up. Adrenal Surge would give them another attack, so then 3 becomes 4, becomes 5, becomes 6. 6 attacks per model. 6, 12, 18. 18 attacks on 3 models. Yeah, it's gonna help with reroll 1s. Pair it with your Tyrants. They're great with Tyrants because the Will of the Hive Mind. Okay, so also use your Tyrant, put Catalyst on them, give them the 5+ Feel No Pain. So every time they would take a wound, you roll a d6 and you get a 5, they don't take that wound. It's gonna save them, they're gonna last longer. It's pretty cool. I am still using Leviathan for all of my stuff, so they do get baby transhuman as long as they're in synaptic link range, because they're not a monster, so you can't wound them on a 1 or a 2. That's not really important because that would require a strength 12 weapon, and if someone's shooting a strength 12 weapon at them, maybe that'll come in handy. And here's the last strategy that I would put with it. So Leviathan, their psychic power is called Hive Nexus. It allows you to use a psychic imperative, even if it's been used, and put it on a unit. So your Tyrant could know Hive Nexus, and it could know Catalyst. It could put Catalyst on them. Then it could do Hive Nexus on them. You could choose the Zonothrope's Warp Shielding and give it a 5+ Invulnerable save. So now your Tyrant Guard are walking around with 5+ Feel No Pain, 5+ Invulnerable save. They're super tough. Tyrants stand behind them and chug, chug, chug. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We here at the Dragon's Lair understand that you are probably a very busy person with kids and jobs and dogs and school and all kinds of stuff. So we want to say thank you for spending your time with us here at the Dragon's Lair.